There's a video that's been surfaced from tonight showing maybe what could be another spat between Monty Williams and Deandre Ayton.
Oh, well, the last word that Monty said there was shit. I can lip read that at least. They're arguing there. You got DA pointing down and frustrated, obviously. Monty yelling at him in the huddle. And then Monty turns his back to where Ayton is at the end here. I mean, obviously, we can't tell exactly what's being said there. But as they go in to put their hands up, DA ain't standing there. So, again, we may have a Monty Williams, Deandre Ayton issue here, but looking at the way this is, I'm on DA's side. And people always want to talk about, hey, I want to see DA fired up. He's pretty damn fired up right there.
Yeah, he's fired up. Monty's fired up. I don't. It's hard to assess what is going on and what the reasoning was behind this argument. It could have been, a defensive switch. It could have been a lot of different things. But what I do know is that I knew we were going to get to a point in this season. You could go ahead and take that down there, Jacob. We don't need to see it 45 times in a row. I do know this. I knew we were going to get to a point that if DA was playing well and he started to speak up and defend himself, because in my estimation, Monty has put a lot of stock into CP3 and Booker to be able to do whatever they want, carte blanche, whatever. And DA has been an afterthought for a large portion of this. And I'm sorry, from last year, watching how everything kind of unfolded and imploded, you could sense that DA was frustrated. I've long said DA needs to play at a superstar level and needs to basically shut up. I think when I watch this, I think that DA's probably not wrong in terms of he's producing and he's not getting the benefit of the doubt. And they're not running plays still for him. He's getting position, and Monty's not coaching these guys up, making sure that they're getting the ball down to the DA. DA right now, without Devin Booker in the lineup, is the number one option. It is not Chris Paul. It is not Mikal Bridges. It is not anybody else. It is DA.
I agree wholeheartedly.
DA is the number two when Devin Booker comes back. But Monty doesn't want to acknowledge that. I know he doesn't want to acknowledge that. He still thinks that maybe Chris Paul is going to find this fountain of youth all of a sudden and be back to what he was 2 years ago, and that just ain't going to happen.
I feel like he looked at Monty and said, hey, Mr. Freeze, put me back in the fucking game instead of busy over there. And that kind of set things off here. We did have a comment, which I don't agree with here. Brandon Elliott Smith says probably DA was just standing there under the hoop, settling for that soft little sky hook instead of dunking. And I'm like, that sky hook's been automatic. I'm sorry, but not everything has to be a goddamn dunk for a center to be good. That's you get 2 points if the sky hook goes in or if he dunks it. It doesn't matter. I can't believe we're still having this damn argument when the guy has been aggressive and dropped freaking 30 points tonight. And this is the argument people still want to have.
Yeah, I don't know what. I don't think that's the argument that they were having, but I will say, Biz was basically trying to tell. It looked like he was trying to tell DA to just like, hey, stop, calm down. Like, you're not going to win this fight, right?
Yeah.
That doesn't necessarily mean that DA was wrong with what he said. No. And then Monty didn't like what was going on. Listen, everybody and their mama tried to tell us before the season that the fact that those two were not talking was not a big deal. It's a big deal because those two clearly are not on the same page right now. And so whatever they got to do, they got to go hug it out. They got to go fight, whatever. Those two specifically have got to get on the same page because for this team to be able to do something in the future, they're going to have to get on the same page.
I'll just say this. They're talking. They communicating now. I mean, that's happening. Look, it does happen on the sidelines. I'm not going to overreact to this, but this is multiple times now.
Oh, we're going to hear about this for like the next week.
Oh, yeah. But look, people are like, oh, well, would you keep DA or Monty? Coaches are easy to get rid of. You don't always run a player out of town because of something. And I'm not saying that's where you're going, but you got to keep that shit in mind too. And you got a new owner. And so everybody, I think, is at the point where they're auditioning for something if your name's not Devin Booker.
All right. Well, Gwen P says they are saying that Mikal said something to DA while Beal was shooting the free throw, and Monty was fussing at the both of them because they were arguing. Okay, cool. Hey, if that's the case, then hey, that happens a million times a year.
Yeah.
That's not unusual. I did see Bradley Beal clapping like, yeah, because I think he was trying to instigate the two fighting maybe. So that would lend credence to that. But again, at the end of the day, you know, I don't believe Monty will get fired. I don't think DA will be traded. Like they'll figure it all out. They'll be fine. It's frustrating. You know, it's frustrating when you're seeing these guys have more talent than the other team and they just don't put it together and they don't dominate the way they should.